right? That's where it's coming from. See, Economist reveals Alex Jones' net worth. Here, we should just watch it, honestly.
Berkshire
Here.
Hathaway, which is a financial. If you dissect that and you say it's roughly $6 million a year, and you add that to the $53 million, then you're close to 70 million.
The margins on his merch must be crazy, brother. Do you know how fucking easy it is to set up like a merchandising? As someone who worked on it for years and years and years, let me tell you something. Like, my margins were dog shit because I wanted to make it as ethical as possible, using domestically manufactured products and also using union labor products. Okay? If you don't do any of that, if you just fucking do dog shit, lowest quality Chinese made t-shirts, okay? You can basically set up like a drop shipping operation and your margins will be insane. You literally get it for pennies and sell it for fucking, $15, $16 with like a whopping like 80% margin. Right? Chinese made is the best? No. Chinese made can quite literally be the best or quite literally be the worst. That's the beauty of working with a Chinese manufacturer. Everything gets made in China. So, technically, as long as you want to pay for it, you can literally get the top quality, best quality merchandise out of China if you want to. You can also, and many people do this, you get the worst quality products from China. It's not even hit or miss if you know what you're fucking doing. Okay? That's how this works. That's just how it is. When you work with Chinese manufacturing, you get, like I said, you get the best quality product or the worst quality product. It is just it's just absolutely dependent on what you want to pay for. And it's quick, it's cheap. No, you can make it quick, cheap, and well made. 100% cheap in relation to like domestic manufacturing. I'm telling you guys, okay? I'm telling you. China is 100% like, if you want to pay for it, you can pay for it. If you want to lower your profit margins, you can get really good quality shit coming out of China. Okay? Shut your greedy, lying ass up, 4chan streamers. What? Anyone that knows anything about merchandising knows what I'm talking about, by the way. The irony is, of course, all of that shit is made in the same fucking factory too. Like, if you go, you can literally get like Louis Vuitton quality fucking leather products, or at the same factory you can get the fake Louis Vuitton leather quality products. That's it. Because they're all being made at the same fucking place half the time. Okay? Yeah, night shift products. Louis Vuitton's a bad example. Their leather sucks. I'm just saying, quality Louis Vuitton is made in Italy. I know. I'm just using it as an example, okay? All right. Both my favorite and least favorite hoodies are made in China. Anyone who doesn't understand this is just a Red Scare or a Maribarian. So, why did we get here? Because we were talking about Alex Jones and how much revenue he has. Attorney asked here. Let's just continue with it.
So we know that
let's hear directly from him.
The starting point for determining the value of FSS or Infowars.
So we talked about this already.
The main reason, in my opinion, why the numbers don't add up, because we didn't have balance sheets, we didn't have income statements for years, we didn't have cash flow statements, we didn't have bank records. So it's almost like trying to piece this together.
Mr. Pinnacle, you understand all that stuff was ordered by the court to be produced, right?
Your Honor, yeah, I do understand.
I object, Your Honor, to that question.
Overruled. Of course. And you know how many times I've
Wealthy women definitely buy knockoffs, so we want to buy the real thing, brainworms. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But I'll tell you this much, okay? Actually, I don't even know. I don't even know what to make of that. What I was gonna say is there's no problem with buying knockoffs. Buy knockoffs. Who gives a shit? Especially if they're good.
The last few weeks, Counsel, and none of that was produced.
Right. I'm sorry, go ahead. You were talking about shell companies.
Sure. In this sense, it was to take the affiliate companies and monetize those, benefit by those. In fact, there were 2 notes that were signed in 20.
I also object to this line of questioning as irrelevant. It's supposed to be here on net worth, not on.
Overall, there were two loans set up.
This part's important.
2 of these that were set up to benefit we're talking about the shell companies. These were to benefit Alex Jones for years and years to come. He set up these 2, quote, loans, so to speak. One was for $29.5 million, the other was for $20.5 million. The total had to be $53 million, one over a 30-year period and one over a 15-year period, with very low interest on payback. And that simply means that Alex Jones was obligated to make a payment on the interest annually and to pay back the first loan, which was a 30-year loan, intermittently over time, which he started to pay. FSS started to pay that loan back at the rate of $11,000 a day, but they didn't keep this up. This started back in 2021, but they didn't continue to pay that. So as a result, on the books, Alex Jones is carrying this note, this gigantic note, $53 million note, when in reality, he's using that note as a clawback to pay himself back. And very simply stated, it's a convenient way of doing business. Before 2018, his business was a non-business. His organization chart is an inverted T, which means everything flows to Alex Jones. And I agree with that. I think Alex Jones made all the major decisions, and I think Alex Jones knows where the money is. He knows where that money went, and he knows that he's going to eventually benefit by that money. One of these notes matures when Alex Jones is 74 years old. He's only got a life expectancy of 76, and he is the remainder man on the first one, meaning he can take that money after the estate is settled and put it in his pocket. The other note matures in 15 years, and he's obligated to pay an interest rate every year of over $1.9 million, which apparently hasn't been paid. If it hasn't been paid, we don't need records of it.
Is the purpose of a note like this to make free speech systems look like it doesn't have the same kind of net worth as it does?
Absolutely. In my opinion, when you carry...
It's basically paying yourself. It's paying yourself off, if I'm not misunderstanding this, unless he got this loan from a bank, or if he got this loan directly from himself, I don't understand how the fuck this is not money laundering. Because then the purpose of it is to make it seem like he's in tremendous amounts of debt, to make one of the companies, the forward-facing one, look like it's constantly in a tremendous amount of debt that he's supposed to fucking pay off. In which case, no matter what happens, you can always be like, well, I just have to, I have to pay this debt. Like, oh, you think I'm making $150 million a year? Well, guess what? Like, I have a $53 million debt. It is a loan from her merchant business to his vendor business. Literally deflating or obfuscating assets. So what I don't understand, just to comment on your previous point, the average consumer is buying the image. Okay, shut up, dude. I don't care about that. Calm down. Okay. What I am failing to understand is how this is allowed. It just feels like legal money laundering, or I don't even know if it's legal. Is this something that you are allowed to do? Which is weird. And will the 84,000 new IRS members look into Americans that are making hundreds of millions of dollars a year through this kind of limitation of their own assets personally by putting themselves under debt? Of course, each legal is legal. Each business is its own entity. I think it's money laundering. This isn't being caught doing it. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you can do that. Especially Like the way to do that normally is the way that Donald Trump has done it, which is the way that everyone else has done it historically, and that is by buying real estate. Real estate is incredibly profitable for wealthy individuals, not because they can like launder it or whatever. What are you doing back there, bro? You're freaking me out. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. The way that most people hide their assets is by purchasing real estate. Why? Because real estate is wonderful for tax benefits. Real estate is seen as the single best vehicle for the average American family to have some level of net worth that appreciates over time, right? Because of that, and because of the white picket fence American dream, that the American government has created wonderful opportunities for you to avoid taxes when you do purchase real estate, because they want you to buy real estate. Except that has created a secondary market of, small business owners, the mom and pop landlords and whatnot that aren't even like fucking mom and pop landlords, but actually just straight up fucking, slumlords, gigantic slumlords. What Alex Jones is doing in this situation that I'm quite shocked by, that I didn't even know was a way to shelter your assets, or was a way to like basically make yourself seem a lot poorer than you actually are, is by creating an LLC that is like that has a fuckload of assets that you've dumped assets into, and then that LLC then loans money to your other LLC, so that the forward-facing LLC that you have is constantly in a state of debt. Therefore, you get plenty of tax benefits from that. Okay? It's a shell company that Hasan, why are you surprised? Because I know the tricks of the game, right? I talk about them regularly, but I didn't know that this was one of the ways that you could do that. He's doing it on hard mode. You usually just make a charity. This isn't a defect in the system. It's a feature. Yes. No, of course. I mean, this is what we talk about. This is what we talk about when we talk about the way that the system is designed. The back-facing LLC still has to pay money somehow, so it has to go somewhere. No, I know. I remember seeing a YouTube short of Waka Flocka, of all people, explaining how to do this. This is corporate money laundering, yes. It's what makes offshoring possible. My old man does it for a small company instead of a bank loans for vehicles. It's legal, but it can be abused easily through shells. You take a loan out of a company value rather than from the bank. It's common corporate practice. How does asset holding LLC evade taxes? How does the asset holding LLC evade taxes? I don't understand that part either. I guess technically, because if you don't pay your loan back to yourself, then all of a sudden that asset holding LLC is also losing money, right? You know what I mean? Because then you are you gave $50 million to another company, and that debt is not being paid off fast enough. So now even I assume even the original LLC that's giving off the loan is now also in a state of debt. It takes out a loan to pay its dividends, and then because it has liabilities, it does not pay taxes. Yeah. Waka Flocka short explaining this.
Putting everything in your name, create a business, LLC, put everything in your LLC. And open up a C Corp, and if you don't know these, you need to figure these out. I'm telling you the names. Get a C Corp to run an LLC. If you want to make it even deeper, go get a trust fund and run a corp that runs the LLC. You want to get even deeper, own two trust funds for your business and your person to run that trust that runs all the business. It can get deep, my God.
Absolutely.
And Donald Trump actually showed me that method. That's how he didn't pay taxes.
That's insane. Fun fact, this is what J&J did in Texas to get out of paying for the baby powder cancer scandal. I don't understand why this stuff is not made illegal, for the record. Like, I just don't understand why this is completely legal in this system. You need to set up a business like this to buy Gucci shirts? Yeah. Yeah. It's a Gucci shirt. It's a GucciShirt.com. It's not illegal because the lawmakers are doing it too. Yeah, I mean, everybody does. Everyone over a certain level of wealth, unless they're a fucking idiot, does this. Unless they're a fucking dumbass. I worked at a Christian insurance company that did that a couple of years. They recently closed after the FBI shut them down for fraud. This is not accessible to poor people? Yeah, no shit, because if you are beneath a certain level of fucking yearly revenue generation, you're most likely already getting taxed off of your fucking paycheck. Most Americans aren't doing any of this shit because most Americans aren't fucking small business tyrants. Okay? Just setting up an LLC costs like $5,000. No, setting up an LLC is actually much cheaper than that. But the problem with that isn't the fucking LLC itself. The problem with that is, where do you have the assets to put into the LLC? You have to have capital to begin with in order to be able to launder it. If you don't have $400 in emergency spending, what are you doing? What are you going to do? Oh, dude, I'm on my grind set, dog. I'm on my fucking grind set, brother. Like, I got my LLC popping. It's like, okay, well, what are you doing with that? You can do it on LegalZoom for $45. That's not the fucking problem. And then there's like annual expenses. That's not the issue, though. The issue is that you don't already have the cash. That is a rich man's game. That is a game for a man who already has a lot of fucking money. Okay? Yeah, this is only as relevant as a business owner. You might be able to do this as an independent contractor, though. Yes, but like, I mean, this is relevant for like Twitch streamers and shit too, certainly. But ultimately, I think this is way too complicated. The funniest part about this, though, is that so many fucking people look at this sort of stuff and think, oh, I can do that too. No, you can't. It's not designed for you to do that. Every single rich person does it. It's a stupid network of fucking people that literally give no fucks about their workers. What pisses me off more than anything is that they can do, but give no fucks about their workers. Yeah.
Carry to the bottom line a debt of $53 million. There's no above the line.
You're saying if you're smart, you do this. Would you assign you have the capital? No, I'm a fucking idiot. I already mentioned that.
And line item expenses that even come close to that. Even if you add up all of his indirect ways of paying himself, salary and advances and administrative fees and consulting fees, all that is bundled into the cash flow and profit and loss. But when you look at a 50...
For the record, like, the LLC process doesn't have to be this fucking scammy. The LLC process in and of itself, like the LLC building process in and of itself, is to limit your liability so you don't get like completely fucked over if something happens, you know what I mean? If you get sued or whatever, right? So that part of it is already like, there's like layers of like how scummy it is. You know what I mean? So on the one hand, you have like the regular LLC process, which is like a little shaky, right? It's on little shaky ground. And as the average worker, you have no access to this whatsoever. Most people that even get the LLC or start an LLC that are like trying to put some of their like a little bit of their fucking income into it, or independent contractors and things like that has like an LLC, they are already doing it. They're already doing it, but then they also have to pay like a corporate tax rate or whatever. So they're basically massaging numbers between like 13% versus whatever the fucking corporate tax rate would look like, right? So you're not getting that big of a tax advantage if you're just a normie, right? Some people do it because they want to get a fucking car. and then they want to get a fat tax break for their car. That's why you see a lot of motherfuckers with G-Wagons and shit, because it's over the legal limit, because there's some random tax break you get because for farm equipment that Americans use for their fucking SUVs. So there's benefits like that you can utilize. There's benefits like that you can use if you're like a middle class Andy, upper middle class Andy, right? So there's that. However, this secondary layer, what Alex Jones is in, is the fuck you money layer, okay? So when you're making like over $100 million, $50 million, $60 million a year, and you have created a system that is like additionally fucked up, where you are creating a loan out, like a company that specifically loans money to your other company to make it seem like both of these companies are in debt. Okay? You get it? So what he's doing is like basically legal money laundering for himself.
$53 million debt that dissolves and disintegrates and wipes out anything above the line. So that's why he can say he's broke, he has no money. But we know that's not the fact.
Do you see that? Do you understand? So he took out like 2 loans from one of his other companies where all of his assets were, okay, where he basically fucking said, he can always say, I have $53 million of debt that I have to pay for.
PQPR, you know where it's headquartered?
Sorry?
Let me ask you this. PQPR doesn't do actual business, right?
No, it has no employees, doesn't do any business, correct?
The other companies that you named, they don't do business either, correct?
Correct. Just want to make that clear. We're really talking about FSS, InfoWars, and Alex Jones himself, AHA.
When you say FSS, that's Free Speech Systems.
Correct.
I just want to make sure that you're in those.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're talking about the notes that that Free Speech Systems pays to PQPR.
PQPR, correct.
They started paying $11,000 a day, correct? At one point?
At one point, it was chiseled in stone that they would have to pay that, correct?
That started in September of 2021, right?
Correct.
What else happened in September of 2021 that's relevant?
In my opinion, the default judgment. Same week, September 27th.
When the court ordered that Alex Jones did what we claimed he did, he started paying $11,000 a day from Free Speech Systems into his shell corporation, PQPR. Correct?
Exactly.
From the information that you do have, the
Yes,
limited
sir.
information you do have, were you able to determine an annual revenue? How much money was coming into Free Speech Systems?
Yes, sir.
How much in 2021?
70 million. If we talk, let me back up.
Motherfucker's making 70 million. Dude, oh my lord. He's making 70 million and the average comes out to $56 million a year. Okay? My man from the years 2015 to 2018 averaged out $56 million in revenue. Okay? That is a fucking gigantic amount of money that he's making. Okay? And like, sure, he has employees and whatnot, but ultimately, he doesn't have that many fucking employees. You know what I mean? $56 million a year. Like, he doesn't have a lot of fucking things that he has to pay for. But once he pays for himself, his gigantic salary of $18 million or $6 million a year, and then he pays off his employees, basically, the way that he is able to fucking claim that he is not making any money is because that $53 million loan that he loaned to himself, the $53 million loan that he loaned to himself basically covers the rest of it. You know what I mean? Because now you have a liability. Now you have a fucking fat debt that you have to pay off, right? And here, this is my LLC. This is my corporation. I'm paying myself $6 million a year. I'm paying my employees, however much money I'm paying a year. Out of the $70 million, all of a sudden, that's the way that you can hide the profits that the company is making, because you're also indebted to yourself.
In 2021, the net revenue from the the FS.
You may look at his notes too.
Yes,
Just 1 second.
that's fine.
Wait, is he richer than HasanAbi? Dude, you guys are so wonderful and lovely that you think that I am in any way, shape, or form anywhere near the level of revenue that like an InfoWars or a Tim Pool or a Daily Wire, Ben Shabibo generates. It's cute that you guys think that. You guys think that your favorite streamer who fucking refuses to take on marketing campaigns that pay insane amounts of money, or who literally fucking takes shittier deals on purpose so he runs less ads, like you think that streamer is making that kind of money. It's cool.
I'm sorry, because they just...
It's all right.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have a problem with notes.
It's going to fucking break your brain when you find out, once again, that the Daily Wire is $100 million a year business. But hey, Twitter anarchists, come at me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Twitter anarchists, I fucking bought a Gucci shirt. You know what I'm saying? Fucking kill me, actually. Come and kill me, please. That's wonderful. You will achieve socialism that way. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about! This is what I'm fucking talking about! Well, Ben Shapiro's not saying he's a socialist. Okay, yeah, exactly. That's why he's making $100 million a year, you fucking idiot. This is not fucking dumb enough to be a fucking dumbass Marxist. That's why. Laughable. Jealousy looks bad on God. Yeah, no, I know. Motherfucker's like still reeling over the house I bought or the fucking Gucci shirt. Meanwhile, these homies are popping, dude. They are popping. They're just like taking all the money to the bank. They're like, oh, these fucking dumbasses. We keep lying to our audience. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Anyway. Okay, let's continue.
To know what you're looking at.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I think the question was, in 2021, what were the... Can you phrase the question again?
What was Free Speech Systems revenue? How much money did they take in 2021?
I have to look again, I'm sorry.
So that's his goal in 2000.
$61.45.
You heard Alex Jones testify that his goal in 2012 was revenues of around $70 million, and he hit it.
Correct.
So that's we're getting close to that number, right?
Exactly.
Back in 2012, he was making $70 million. Dude, Alex Jones's net worth is fucking insane, dude. So goddamn caked up. It is not even funny.
We have the revenue numbers for 2016, 17, and 18 just from the InfoWars store, correct?
Correct.
We put up Exhibit 35 and go to the last page. And that number's on the screen there in front of you, Dr. Pettingill. Is $165,230,014.62, correct?
Correct.
And that doesn't include sales on like Amazon.
Alex Jones fans be like, why are you pocket watching? Yo, why this dude pocket watching A. Jones, dude? What the fuck? Yo, quit with the dick riding, dude. Quit with the pocket watching, bro. Damn, dude, you are fucking, you're Alex Jones' biggest fan, bro. You're his biggest fan. Dude's a fan. He's a fan. Stop pocket watching.
Or eBay and things like that, right?
No. Amazon, eBay, other sources doesn't
Just
include
donations.
Donations, correct. That was another, from last year, $8 million.
So my point is, in 2015, 16, 17, 18, his revenue is pretty consistent with what it was in 2021, right?
Correct, even though we don't have records past 18.
You've heard of
Holy fuck, $165,230,000 in what? 230,000 for what the fuck? Wait, am I $165 million, dude. $0.62.
Alex Jones say he was deplatformed in 2018, right?
Correct.
And that was some sort of financial punishment. He lost millions. You remember that testimony?
Bro, that is literally just from the fucking... That is just from the store. This is revenue from the store.
The records don't reflect that.
In fact, he actually is making more money after 2018, right?
Correct. And his deplatforming wasn't because of Sandy Hook. It was because of other reasons, as you know.
Did you do research into that?
I did.
Why was he
Objection,
deplatformed?
Your Honor. This is not part of this.
Overruled.
Sure. I was able to locate an article that discussed in great detail why he was deplatformed.
Object to the hearsay, Your Honor, from his article.
So,
From your research,
okay.
let me ask the question.
All right, yeah, ask a different question.
From your research, Dr. Pettingill, in 2018, why was Alex Jones deplatformed?
He was deplatformed for the following reason.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Sure. He was deplatformed for the following reason. And I want to just read it into the record.
No. I'm sorry. I object, Your Honor, to him reading into the record from some news article he got.
It's the quotes from the actual people that deplatformed tell why he was deplatformed from the different social media sites.
But what is the hearsay?
Dude, it's awesome because like dude, you're seeing how much money how much revenue he generated off of his fucking dumbass idiotic fan base. But then also on top of that, I want to remind you guys that someone gave him $8 million in crypto last month because he said he was dead broke and he needed to combat the psychic pedophile vampires. Okay? Someone just straight up dumped him $2 million, and then the same person gave him another $6 million donation last month, ultimately giving him $8 million total in crypto. Okay? Just for funsies. They just gave him that shit. Okay? Because they were like, oh, poor Alex, he needs this.
The exception that allows this to come in.
He's an expert that can rely on it. We're just not going to put it into evidence. We're just going to read it as under.
And did Mr. Pettingill, excuse me, sir,
That's right.
use this in developing his expert opinion today?
Well, he wanted to get into the deplatformation and see if it actually lowered his revenue and if the deplatforming was related to the Sandy Hook or something different. So this is something he did research on and relied on, formed his opinion that it's not related to Sandy Hook.
I would also, if I may, Your Honor, I remember looking at that rule when we had our last expert witness on it. Also, I think has to be a learned treatise commonly relied on by these.
Well, that exception does. I don't know if Mr. Farah is trying to point me to a different exception.
Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 703, Your Honor.
All right. So he certainly can base his opinion on the information, but this is about reading out loud in a quote to the jury. Is there an exception?
Dog, you're already fucked. Why are you doing the shittiest objections possible? Okay, you're already shafted. You're already fucked. Okay, it's done. It's over. Like him reading why Alex Jones was deplatformed when talking about Alex Jones's assets is so fucking irrelevant to the reasons, like to the actual matter at hand. It is such a weird fucking thing to object to. Oh, objection. Okay.
I do think it's under learned treatise if he says that what the.
Well, you have to go through where it came from and
Right.
all of that.
Let's just do it this way, Dr. Pettigill. I'll withdraw the question.
Sure.
Without reading
Rephrase it.
Without reading it from your research, why was he deplatformed?
Sure. The deplatforming, in particular from Facebook, stemmed from hate speech, from language which was described people such as transgenders, Muslims, immigrants in a sort of a hateful way, it says here. And InfoWars has been accused of other, I won't even carry on and report that, but other remarks, let's leave it that way.
Yeah, inciting violence also?
Correct, yes, sir.
If we look at the revenue number of, let's call it 65 million, 64.9 million.
Yes, sir.
Why is revenue important to determine the net value or net worth of a company?
Because if we are trying to sell a company, there are rules of thumb for selling companies that are privately held. It's usually 1 to 2 times revenue. And that's a universally accepted algorithm for trying to value a company. In this case, if we take the 65 million and we assume there's a multiple of 1, which would be the floor, or the ceiling, I'm sorry, 65 million would be the floor. And we assume that the multiple of 2 for a 2-year times revenue earned would be 130 million. And that would be some range to put a number on InfoWars and free speech systems.
Now, in your expertise, would you lean more towards the 1 or the 2 times evaluation?
You know, the government and the way that the professionals who value businesses, they rely on IRS income tax returns based on paid income taxes and asset values. We don't have that. We don't know. So I don't know if I should lean toward 1 as the floor or 2 or 2 toward the ceiling. It's probably somewhere in between.
He's been on the air for a long time, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
We know from at least 2016 through 2021, his revenue stayed relatively the same, correct?
Correct. 50 plus million a year, correct.
I'm sorry?
50 plus million a year.
You know he has a loyal following, correct?
He has a rabid following, correct.
Would those factors...
Once again, my man was caked up, generating $56 million a year on average, okay, that they know of. There's additional assets. It's harder to fucking figure it out. But also, on top of that, his fan base is so fucking insane that, like I said, only last month, someone just dumped $8 million in crypto into his pocket. Straight up, because he was like, I'm so broke. I'm so broke.
Help you lean closer to the 2 times revenue?
It would. And there are other reasons for that. Because he has an ongoing concern. He has a very successful practice, very successful business, and he has these rabid followers. He, for the most part, is the key man of this organization. If he had to buy insurance on himself, I don't even know what value he would put on himself. It would be in billions, probably. So I think for that reason, we can assume it's closer to 2.
Okay. And if it was 2, that would be $130 million would be the net worth of free speech systems.
Correct. Minimum.
You say minimum because we don't know all the revenue streams.
We don't know Amazon, we don't know eBay, we don't know all the other sources, we don't know any other ad revenue he gets. You know, with all those clicks, and I don't know this for a fact, but with all the clicks from the...
Your Honor, witness just said he doesn't know this for a fact. I don't know why he would testify to it.
He's saying what the revenue streams could be without saying a number. We don't have the number.
Calls for speculation.
Okay. I actually don't think I can address that until I know what he's going to say. So I think I have to hear it.
Right.
You're an expert. You're here testifying as an expert. That means you get to tell us opinions, which other witnesses don't get to do. But we also need to know what those opinions are based on. So just consider that as you testify.
With respect to the ad revenue, we don't know how much he makes from ads. Typically, someone makes money from ads because if they can click and direct someone to a website and purchase products, they get paid a commission on that. That's how many of these web guys make money. So we don't know the numbers.
Some people make money off of subscriptions instead at the top of the hour when they say, hey, you know, there's a 60-second ad break that's coming. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. The ad revenue that I make is negligible as a consequence of the deal that I have with Twitch, whereas the bulk of my revenue is the most transparent way possible. Subscriptions, which you can add for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub, you'll be able to avoid the top of the hour ad break. That's a 10-10 segue that is directly at the top of the fucking hour. That, I mean, what am I going to do? Not take that fucking layup? Obviously I will. Aloha from Maui. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Okay. Allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. Here's the 1-minute ad break now, by the way. If you had to estimate how much you make a month in ads, I have no fucking clue. I don't know. Do you receive the same money whether it's a Prime sub or a normal one? Yes. The cut is the same. Anyway, I already hit you with the ad break. Anila, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
We don't have spreadsheets on that, but we know it's an unknown, and if you just do the math.
Cap, no clue. No, I literally don't know. I straight up don't know.
The millions
66, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
Gets, then
Spider from Mars, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
He's making money from it.
Let's turn to the net worth of Alex Jones.
Sure.
Tell me what you did. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Tell me what you did to try to determine the net worth of Alex Jones.
Sure. Alex Jones withdrew $61.9 billion in 2020. I don't know if that was a one-time withdrawal or it was accrued pay over many years.
By the way, like, so this process that Alex Jones is on is basically the same that corporations engage in. It's like a similar structure to what corporations do all the time. And because of how much revenue Alex Jones generates, I mean, he is a corporation as like a singular entity pretty much. Like, for example, Amazon, the reason why fucking Jeff Bezos pays so little in taxes is because his assets are not liquid, right? Like, it's not cash. I mean, he has assets. He has stock. He has Amazon stock, which he can use against, he said $1 million, not $1 billion, chat. He can use to get loans forever, okay? Very low interest rate loans. Instead of paying taxes, he's basically paying the interest back to the bank, okay? And that's kind of, how much does Young Turks make? First of all, I don't know, but it's a fucking hilarious thing to bring up, like, tiny-ass Young Turks and the revenue that they generate when talking about fucking Alex Jones's multiple Umbrella Corp, Shell Corp, and subsidiaries that are raking in $60 million a year. You think the Young Turks makes anywhere near that? You are the most delusional person on the fucking planet, okay? But again, you're a fucking idiot, okay? You're a fucking dumbass. If your thing is like, well, no, just, if you want to be a right-winger, okay, just flex. Just say, look, Alex Jones is great because he speaks truth. That's why he's making millions of dollars a year. Don't fucking turn around and be like, how much does the Young Turks make? You're an idiot. You're gonna come across like a dumbass when you say that. Okay? You just had a question. Why are you mad? Because that's not a question. That's an effort to derail the stream. And let's take a look. I'm assuming that you are also doing that as well half the time. There you go. By your logic, yeah, you are exactly doing what that fucking person asked the question. You're literally doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing all the time when you ask questions like this. It is an effort to derail the stream. It's not a genuine question.
There's been discussion that it was over a 10-year payout. It doesn't matter. It's $61.9 million. And that number represents, in my opinion, a value of Alex Jones' net worth. He's got some money put in a bank account somewhere. He had 4 accounts we know of at Security Bank. But we
I gotta
don't
pee,
know
I'll be
what's
back.
going into that account. We
You're
don't know how
net
much money was
exposed again?
Into the account, and we don't know when the money was put into the account. But we know
Fuck.
that there is a statement saying $61.9 million was withdrawn and paid to Alex Jones.
From Free Speech Systems
Correct.
in 2021.
Correct. 2021.
The same year the default judgment surrendered.
Correct.
Do you have any records of other money being pulled out of Free Speech System and given to Alex Jones in this time frame?
I do.
What
From the testimony, the notes from the Brittany Pays, she mentioned that another 18 million was taken out before this 61.9 million figure. It was 18 million over a 3-year period, 2015 to 2018, $18 million.
So that totals about $70 million?
If you add the 6 per year to the 53, you get 60 million, but close to 70. And as I said before, there's been testimony that is made this year on track, 2021, 70 million.
Okay. Does that help you determine the net worth of Alex Jones?
Yes, sir.
What did you come up with in that opinion?
Same approach to his net worth that I took to valuing the companies would be 1 to 2 times his net worth. And you can do the math on that.
So 70 to 140 million?
Correct.
Yeah, 140.
Correct. And those are very simple numbers. And there's no economics and no present value. Those numbers
He's got a cake, dude.
speak for themselves.
I see Chad is starting to get bored of this content, and therefore the moment that I fucking get up, they're spamming Hermy. That's usually when Chad is like no longer interested in how much money Alex Jones makes.
So if we look at the final number on the high end, that is about $270 million for the net worth of Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems.
Correct.
And the low end, the low range of that, if it was just one, would be $135 million.
Correct.
Are all your opinions given today to a reasonable degree of economic probability?
Yes, sir. Correct.
I don't have any more questions.
Are you telling us you don't get money from corporations that advocate all the great socialist ideas that would increase their profits? Sarcasm? Yeah, exactly. Kind of fucked up. That's a big mistake that corporations aren't just dumping all their money into me so I can defend them. All right, so we will watch the new Second Thought. Now, the reason why they're looking into his assets, the reason why they're pocket watching, if you will, is because they need to figure out how much money he has so that they can figure out exactly how much money they can take from him. This is a part of the punitive damages in his payout. That's it. That's the reason why they did this pocket watching. And given the corporate structure of the United States of America, it's very easy for him to hide his assets. It's very easy to hide how much money exactly he's making. It's very easy for him to just set up liabilities for himself as a way to get. What the fuck am I looking at right now?
They're saying that the vaccines are safe and effective. You're aware of that, right? It's the government that's saying that they're safe and effective. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Are they really?
Meanwhile, at the CPAC conference, they're talking about vaccines and their efficacy. That's awesome. Of course, CPAC is full of anti-vaxxers. That's what they do. That's their bread and butter. What is this? Oh, Fidel Castro? Yeah, I know. Fucking James Franco is going to play Fidel Castro. Daily Wire says it's a $100 million a year business. We already talked about that. Hogs is how you make your money, okay? Republicans make their fucking money off of dumbass small business owners who have a lot of fucking money. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that, saying what rich and hate-filled business owners saying out loud what they want to say would be an incredibly profitable business. That's crazy.